There's an old parable known as the parable of the long spoons. No one seems entirely certain where it began, but I remember exactly where I first heard it. My father told it to me when I was just a boy, sitting with me in our garden on a beautiful summer's day. I didn't fully understand it then, but I think I understand it now. A man was once granted permission to peer into both heaven and hell, just for a moment. He was shown hell first. When the door opened, he saw a large, beautiful room with a long wooden table covered in the most delicious banquet imaginable. Warm bread, bowls of stew, and fresh fruit, all laid out in abundance. There was more than enough to satisfy everyone there. This didn't look like hell, he thought. But then he noticed something very peculiar. The people sitting around the table were all malnourished, skin and bone, and each person had a spoon bound to each hand. But the handles were far too long. They could scoop the food easily, but every time they tried to bring it to their mouths, the spoon would tilt, spill, and fall short. No matter how hard they tried, they could not feed themselves. The room was filled with frustration, anger, and quiet desperation. They were surrounded by abundance, yes, but they were all starving. It was torture. Then the man was taken to heaven. When the door opened, he paused. The room looked identical. The same room, the same table, the same food, the same long spoons. But the people, they were different. They were healthy, well-fed. Laughter filled the air instead of sobbing. And as he watched more closely, he noticed a subtle difference. Here, no one tried to feed themselves. Instead, each person used their long spoon to feed the person opposite them. And in return, they were fed. The environment was identical, the tools were identical, the opportunity was identical. Only the behavior had changed. I remember my father would end the story there without any dramatic conclusion. Then he'd ask me, "Tim, what would you choose to do with your spoon?" Now, I've thought about that question many, many times since. Perhaps heaven and hell aren't distant destinations. Perhaps they're patterns of behavior that exist right here on Earth. So, what kind of person would you be? Someone who only wants to feed themselves? Or someone willing to feed others?